here in mechanical maintenance, got this job like 7 or 8 years ago, but my previous life, before my children, my first degree is in civil engineering. So this was a job because it was related to civil engineering that I managed, like it matched all my my previous experience. But at the time when I did that, back in the day, quite a ways away, you only needed a bachelor's to be that professional level, whereas now it's more of a master's or even more. So I'd always felt that like, oh, I want to get a master's in something. And then when I found that, as well as tuition remission for my kids was available here, that I could get that, and I was like, well, I'd be kind of crazy not to try and get the master's while I'm in a situation where it's covered as my job. And then I found out about the MALS program, which is fully online. So I thought, well, that'd be perfect because then I can fit that into my work.
So I started out in an administrative role, and then I actually didn't want to do human resources because I felt like the whole dynamic of human resources wasn't personable. They're always for the company, not specifically for the employee. But working here at Rutgers has allowed me to change the dynamic of that and have like an open door policy. So realizing that being able to have my bachelor's in human resources management would allow me to kind of change the path of what the whole idea of HR meant to people.
I'm Ashley. I'm a custodian at Rutgers University Camden. My original undergrad was at Rutgers, New Brunswick. I majored in exercise science, applied kinesiology, and then I came down to Camden, worked here for a little bit, and then I went back to school just recently and graduated in the accelerated program for nursing with my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. Both my parents had suffered from TIA, which are like mini strokes. And when I took my mother specifically to the emergency room, she was just terrified. And when we had got to Our Lady of Lourdes, the nurses were the ones who were able to kind of calm her down and talk her off that ledge of being, so fearful and so scared. And she was actually able to kind of calm down a little bit during that interaction. And I really admired that nurse for like everything that she did for my mom. And I was like, this is something that I can see myself doing.
The program really spoke to all the things that I like to do as hobbies, as it were. I've always been interested in history and philosophy and politics and religion, which is basically the 4 things that covers. You can specialize in some of those on that program. So for me, it was just extending what I enjoy to do. It was tough sometimes. Like I say, even getting into the whole idea of writing essays every week and doing that was a big transition. But like I said, with the program being online, I could watch the videos at my leisure. I did that on evenings and weekends, so my family started to not see me some days. I'd just like hide myself away and do that. But it was fun and energizing to have these topics to think about and talk about. So I saw the benefits of that.
I actually graduated ahead of time. The work balance, I can't take 100% credit for. It was also my family being there to kind of help me with certain things, picking up where I fell short. I have to give credit to my husband and to my kids, even having a tremendous and amazing supervisor that understood that was my goal. Even with Ghislaine, she understood when I wanted to go back to school. I took online classes. So it was just making sure that my work was done during the day and then focusing on my classwork in the evening because I did take online classes. The Pi Alpha Alpha is an honor society that is here strictly at Rutgers. There's over 1,800 inductees in there, but it was a tremendous honor because of the fact that not a lot of undergrads get inducted. It's more so done and accomplished at the master's level, like when you're getting your master's degree. You have to maintain an average of 3.5 for the whole time. All 3 of I was here for 4 semesters with my bachelor's, with the exception of the first. On my last 3, I had straight A's. So that allowed me to maintain an average of a 3.78, something like that. But to still be able to graduate with honors, knowing all of the many late nights that I had to stay up to do the assignments, it is definitely rewarding because it's something that you can utilize on your resume. They actually have services that allow you to be able to further educate yourself on things, and you get invited to a lot of programs to give back and to be able to show other people that it is possible to do it. So it is a tremendous honor.
I'm very fortunate that I work on the same campus that I attend classes. Otherwise, I think it would have been very difficult to be able to pursue. Between having to like clock out between going to classes and then clock back in when your class is over, and then having to stay extra hours to make up the time that I had lost. So very fortunate that Rutgers was able to have a flexible schedule with me to be able to do what I needed to do. And and just grateful that I had the parents in my life that I have to be able to not have to worry about a place to live. So I was very fortunate for that.
I mean, my family was very supportive, so that was really good. And they knew that it was a positive thing. So, and I like to feel that it help my kids see that you can do it at any age, that you're never too old or whatever, grey in the hair, to learn.
So I'm in the master's program it's going to be similar to my bachelor's. My master's is for public affairs and administration, but I'm also doing a certification. So I'm a glutton. I'm doing a certification, so I'll be getting 2 certificates in addition to my master's, and it will be one certificate will be in labor relations management, and my secondary certificate will be in healthcare administration. So by the time I'm finished with everything, I could run my own business, spearhead a pharmaceutical company if I wanted to, or oversee a labor relations management, like a labor relations type of company. So with all of the degrees that I will end up having in the end. Working in this unit up under Just Lane has allowed me to see that nothing's impossible. She's been a great mentor, to be honest, when I've had questions and things like that, to see like, is it possible? Because when I started with this, it was like, it's not possible, right? You got to just stay where you are, stay complacent. But then it's like, no, you have to reach for that. And it's always been a goal of mine to have my degrees. I will say here at Rutgers, master's was not something, it was just to be able to say I had my bachelor's. But now to see that it is something that is attainable, it's definitely something that I'm going to accomplish. I'm set to graduate with my master's of May of 2026.
I want to be a midwife. That was one of my end goals, and I wanted to help contribute, find a way to fight the maternal mortality rate that's so high here in the United States. And so short-term girls get hired as a labor and delivery nurse, get maybe like a year experience, and then go back to school for my master's to become a midwife, and then finally start to practice. I would love to open like a birthing center somewhere in South Jersey or Philadelphia, just because those 2 places are very close to my heart.
Some advice that I would have for an employee who's planning to enroll or recently enroll is be realistic with yourself. And what I mean by that is when you're setting up your classes, don't feel like you have to follow someone else's motto. When you're with the advisements, they're going to tell you that you need to take as many credits. You have to be realistic to yourself, because if you take those credits or you take those classes and then you have to drop out of them, now you're setting yourself back. Go at your own pace. Go with what life allows you to accomplish. Don't feel like you have to be an overachiever, and don't feel like if you can't take what they're kind of setting for you, that you're going to be an underachiever. Work with what works for you. Don't let anyone else tell you what's going to work for you. Only you know what's going to work for you.